Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Michelle and I share all of my arty things that I've been doing and the things that I've bought, and I have a regular paint calm on a Friday, which some of you may have already found. So it is one of the playlists on my YouTube channel. But today I want to share something a book that I flipped through that I've now been using. So let's have a look. It is the 15-minute art watercolor book by Jola Sopek. And if I move these paints out of the way for a moment, I want to go through this in a bit more detail and show you that I have actually been using it. So it has a little section on getting started, an introduction, tools and materials, techniques, colour story and sketching. And then they've got some helpful assets like templates, a little bit about the author and some acknowledgements. But then you have all of these projects in here. So I'm not going to read them all out, but I am going to show you that there are at the back here. Where do we start? Here. So for those of you that are not confident in your sketching, there are templates, sketch templates provided that you could trace and then move that onto watercolor paper. So I think that that's a nice touch for anyone that is you know, doesn't want to be intimidated by the sketching, just wants to get on with you know, doing some watercolor. And so there's a little bit about the author at the front, a little bit about the tools and materials, which I'm not going to go into. There is some techniques that you can practice. So she goes on to some of those, a little bit about colour story, so warm colours, cool colours, a little bit about analogous colours, complementary colours, mixing all the cool and warm primaries to make black. And then she talks a little bit about the sketch outline templates for all the projects at the back of the book. And then it starts on the projects. So we have project number 1, which is just a stripe pattern, and it's broken down into 5 steps, and this is what you end up with, or what she wants you to end up with. And then there is a blank page, and you can see where I have done my stripe pattern. And I wanted to actually use the book itself to see how well it coped with the watercolor. Project number 2 is a circle pattern, and that's broken down into 5 steps. And you can see this is mine, and this is the step 5, the end result that she shows you. So I think this was great fun. And as you can probably see, I'm hoping you can, the paper does buckle a little bit, but on the whole it works fairly well with the watercolor. So I think it's quite a good introduction to watercolor. Or, like myself, if sometimes all you've got is 15 minutes and you want to make sure that you're practicing your art on a daily basis, or you want to do your art even if it is just for 15 minutes for a mindful activity to help with mental health, then I think this, even for seasoned artists, would still be something nice to do. So project number 3 are the carrots, and that is in 3 steps. There's the example, here are mine. So you can see that I am able to come up with on this paper, which is, it's smooth. It's probably more kind of mixed media paper. It's not watercolor paper, but it still came out as something that I was quite happy with. Then we've got clouds, and that is in 4 steps, and you can see here is me practicing doing some clouds. I really like the eucalyptus project, which is number 5, and that is broken down into steps, 3 steps, and this was mine, and I absolutely loved how that came out. I liked the kind of blotchiness, purely because it's smooth watercolor and it's not going to do the same thing as so it is mixed media paper rather than hot pressed or cold pressed is what most artists would use for watercolor. But you can see that you can still do something that is really quite nice. Project number 6 was loose flowers, and that is broken down into 3 steps, and here are mine, and there's the example on the left. So you can see, you know, it is really quite doable. Then we've got project number 7, which is a little bunny, and that is done in 3 steps again. So there we go, that's step number 3 finished, and here's mine. I quite like my little bunny. I think he came out lovely. Then we've got project number 8, which is a lemon, and that is done in 4 steps. There's the final one, there's mine. So you can see I'm managing to, without too much difficulty, work on this paper quite nicely. We've got lavender next. So that is broken down into 4 steps. There we go. There's mine. So, you know, I am enjoying doing this book. This is the swallows. These were rather lovely. I haven't used any of the templates. I've just sketched them myself, but I wanted to let you know that they are there if you don't want to be sketching things yourself. So the swallows is done in 3 steps. Because of how I placed mine, I was only able to do 2 rather than 3, and because I ended up doing mine a bit larger than is over here. That's because I didn't use the template sketch. I just drew it myself. This one was lovely to do, the double coloured leaves. This is done in 3 steps, and you can see this is my attempt, and I really loved how that came out. Actually, again, I thought that was rather smashing. Then we've got an avocado, and you will see that there are these little swatch squares on each of the projects. So the same again over here. But it is all written down for you to follow. And this is step 3, the final step, and there's mine. So today, for you all, I'm going to do project number 13. And let me just check how many projects there are. Go back to the right page. Here we go. $25. So actually there's 50 projects in this book. This is as far as I've got. So I'm going to do with you today the sailing boat. So I don't think I'll probably even sketch it out, to be honest, or will I? yes, let's sketch it out. Let's just, so we're going to need this mast coming down and this little flag, and then from here underneath I'm going to want my boat, which has got this bit there, that bit there, and then just a little line for my horizon. And then we've got, as you can see, they're not hugely difficult to sketch in any case. Then we've got this coming across, and another one here. So yeah, within a few seconds I've sketched out my boat. Now they've done it in red. Do I want to do it in red? I'm actually going to be using my Rosa Gallery set. Now I did have this in another palette and it had got other colours around it. I've now pulled all of my Rosa Galleries out and put them in one tin, and I added to them. So this is now my whole selection of Rosa Gallery paints, which I think are a really good starting point for anybody who wants to do some watercolor. They are very reasonably priced. I'll try and find like an introductory palette or something to link below. But this is what I'm going to be using today. And I'm going to be using, I'm going to need a small brush to do this mast. And then I'll use something slightly bigger. So that's a 2, size 2 round, and this is a size 6 round. And I think that will probably do the job. So let's flip back, and it says start by painting a vertical line to create the mast with a flag at the top. So that's what I'm going to be doing first. We need some water. There it is. So shall we use red or shall we use, no, maybe we'll use a kind of a red. I think I will use quinacridone lilac. Yeah, let's use you. You don't have to use the same colours that the artist is saying. So I'm going to do my line. And then I'm going to do my little flag. There we go. There is my line and my flag. Then the next bit is to do the sails, making sure that you vary the amount of water so there's a variation in tonal intensity. So let's have a go at this then. I'm just going to use up what's on this brush to start off with. And then I'm going to go to a bigger brush. And I'm just adding more water basically to get some variation going on in my sail. There we go. I think we've got a bit of variation going on there. So there is one sail. Let's do our second sail. And then I'm just going to add some water so that I do get that variation going on. So there we are. There is our second sail. Then paint the hull of the boat in the same way that you painted the sails. We're now going to paint the hull of the boat. I'm just going to do some water now, just to, as she said, get some of that variation going on. And then for the last bit, to paint the sea, apply a clear layer of water directly below the boat's hull so that you achieve, there we go, something like that. So there you go. There's me just completing one of the projects in the book. And I think that they are just a little bit of fun. You know, you can just kind of look at it and you go, yes, I've achieved something. So I think it is well worthwhile. And I'm just going to dry this and come back. There we go. So I have now dried that off, and let's have a look and see what we've got next. Maybe we'll do one more, which is the figure shapes. And so these are people, and we've got one, we've just got 2 steps. So let's have a go at doing these. And I'm going to use my size 6. It says to sketch the figures. I'm not going to sketch the figures, but you could use the sketches if you want to. And I think I'm going to use, let's use indigo for this. So we use a bit of indigo, and there's my first one. To be honest, I can just do it from these. So it's a bit like a kind of a carrot shape that keeps going down, and then we're just going to pop the head on it. So there we go. Let's move on to the next one. So yet again, we have got this kind of shape going on. We've got a bit that's coming down, and then we've got the head, but we've also got that hair. So there we go. And then the one next to it is, we'll make a bit taller. So yet again, we've just got this kind of shape going on. And then we've got the head. We've got another one over here. Slightly different because we've got 2 legs coming down on this one. I might need to make that longer. And then we've got one over here. And we've got that hand coming out. And we've got a bit of a bump there before we go down. Need a bit more paint. Before we go down to the legs. So let's just make that all the same colour where I lost it a bit. So there we go. Some very simple figures that I think need to be grounded. So I'm just going to use some water just to ground them. But I'm hoping that you can see that it's just simple shapes, basically. So I think that this little book, 15-minute art watercolor book, you know, covers an awful lot of different topics. Cats, flamingos, there's fruit, there's ice creams, there's butterflies, there's trees, there's snowflakes, lots of leaves, grapefruit, banana, pear, more trees, a simple landscape even. We've got some cherries, we've got some mushrooms, some seaweed, a blood orange and aubergine. Lots to do in this little book that I think is really quite something. We'll just check what project is the last project so that I get the 49. Project number 50. Okay, yeah. So there are definitely 50 projects in here. So I think that on days where you're not able to do any art because you're so busy, then just doing a little something, you know, is really, really helpful and useful. So I really just wanted to share that with you and to show you all of my Rosa Gallery paints that are now all in one tin. And there are a few there that I didn't have before that are new, probably about half a dozen. So I think what I've got there is a nice collection now. I've got yellows into golds. I've got 4 greens. I've got some blues and a lavender. I've got a buff titanium, a magenta and a quinacridone lilac. And then I've got lots of nice browns, reddy browns, caput mortems, Payne's grey, carbon black, and even a black green. So I think that that's a nice little set. This is just a very quick video. What I have got coming up, if I move this out of the way, so this is a bit of a teaser, I suppose. I have got this box, which if I turn it round, opens up. It's a very big box, and it's full of all the new things that I've been saving up. So there will be another video of me sharing some things that I've bought. I need to do that one separately, I think. So yeah, just a quick one today, just because I thought this book is actually something that I am using and I think is rather lovely. And I think this, together with a set of really good quality but affordable paints like the Rosa Gallery, would be a lovely little present for someone. So there we go. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay calm. And if any of you do decide to do any of the paint calms or any of the paintings that I, show you how I'm doing them on my YouTube channel, if you want to share what you've done with me, then just use the Instagram hashtag Michelle Mould Artist, all one word, and then I will see what you've been doing as well. So I'll pop that down in the link below as well. All right, have a lovely day, everyone. Bye bye.